Welcome back, everybody, to the Natty 19 podcast. I'm Jonathan Marshall, and before we jump back into this story, I wanted to say thank you for the continued support and the warm reviews on iTunes. If you haven't left us a review, please do that if you're able to. It helps us greatly. I wanted to give a special thank you to our patrons over on Patreon. Our newest patron, Jumbiku, over in Morrison, Colorado. Thank you so much, my friend. By now, our side adventure over there, Sun Goes Down with a Ruby Smile, should be released in full for you guys, along with a couple of our video BTS episodes. Oh, and also our first release of our Out of the Abyss Garage Days episode. We hope you're enjoying that content. And I also want you to know that we are scrambling to keep this momentum going, to keep the content flowing. So again, thank you all so much for the support. Thank you for listening. So by Timora's will, let's jump right back into this on the Natty 19 podcast.
Yeah, shortly after you disappeared, Sybil showed up. I think she was delighted that you were gone. So much so, she graced us with her presence. Haven't seen her since you've come back, though.
Riga extends the wine flask to you, Copernicus. He says, "Perhaps you need a swig as well, my friend. Take the edge off. Things have been difficult, to say the least."
Copernicus will take the flask and sniff it. And he'll take a pull off it. He hasn't had a liquor drink in quite some time.
Riga nods, satisfied.
Well, he's been through enough.
Rather some manga leaves.
But going forward, Xavril, I'd like to keep everything above board. Between ourselves, if we're going to be working together.
I was merely interested as to the relationship that you two have.
It is a strange one, I understand. But, like I've said before, it's nothing you need fear.
I do not trust any denizens of the dead.
Perhaps Copernicus does not fear enough.
I think that as long as no one means anyone harm amongst us friends, it doesn't matter.
I'm merely looking out for you, Copernicus.
Well, perhaps we can all make it out of this in one piece and get to Zimwa B, and he will be ready when that time comes.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting Zimwa B's not here.
I have become close with your Zimwa B friend. I have a great respect for the man. And I'm becoming a bit sweet on you all, if I'm to be honest. I do not care to see much squabbling amongst ourselves. If we could at least get through this, save Zimwa B, and then perhaps afterwards you can fight.
Well, thanks for your permission, Riga.
It is just wisdom. Take it if you will.
Yes, we do have task at hand.
Irame is going to stand up and start kind of dusting off her clothes and pull out her compass and watch where it points and think of Wakanga. Put it in her pocket.
Cappy wipes some dust off your back that you missed.
The compass needle spins around violently, and then it fixes solidly to the north.
That's the way home.
That is the way home, Copernicus.
Where is home now? I don't know.
Well, where I was born, my father lay dying. We have much work to do.
Somebody's got daddy issues.
Copernicus takes another pull of the liquor.
Just takes it from Riga at this point. Help yourself, my friend. Playing Copernicus, it's like there's a little checklist of 3 things. Number 1, regardless of what anyone says, try to find an asshole response to it.
It's fun to play.
That is a fun one to
Someone's
play.
got daddy issues. Dad's dying. Oh, my dad's dying. Must be nice to have a father.
Booty hooty hooty hoo.
From someone that can't let go of his dead wife.
Oh,
Quincy,
you fool.
we have to go.
Copernicus reaches over and takes the silver spoon out of Quincy's mouth. Shoves it up his ass.
Slaps him upside the head with it. All right. So eventually you guys kind of nod off. Well, I mean, what time of day is it?
We
What
already
is
rested.
this?
We already
Okay.
rested.
Oh, short rest. Okay,
It's
fair enough.
Midday on the 17th?
Yeah.
Let's call it,
Maybe a little
midday,
after.
hammer, 17 hammer. Grimace pokes his nose up from his book. He says, I believe I am ready when you lot are. The Shrine of Ijin, I still haven't checked and confirmed the pronunciation of that, but I will, awaits us.
Then let us move forward.
Before long, traversing through the deserted streets of Omu, all but wildlife, of course, you see critters darting by. Occasional roar coming from the jungle in the distance as something gets thrashed about. You hear the cracking of a tree. You make your way through the streets cautiously. There's rumbles every now and again. Almost like the place is settling still.
Like sinking?
It's like rocks will, pebbles fall when it happens. It's an interesting location with the lava and the water, and there must be things happening. The whole city is sunken in already, so I'm assuming there's still residual effects happening.
Some kind of geological phenomena.
Yeah, geological, thank you.
Tectonic shifts.
You move north. So if you're
going
traveling north along the Great Wall, you come upon, amid the ruins, is an abandoned campsite. Upon investigation, you realize at one point this was a campsite, now abandoned. Torn backpacks and rotted gear litter the ground around the 3 moldering tents. And at the center of the camp, a scrap of dirty yellow cloth hangs from a crude wooden flagpole.
Is there anything to be determined from the cloth? Is there enough of the flag to figure anything out? Yeah.
Exploring the campsite, caught in the lining of one of the tents, you find a moldy parchment. And this is
Ooh,
what
fancy.
it reads. Who can read that?
Denlin? Is that the name? Ray.
Rue
It's written
Denlin
to
has led
Ray.
on the eye of Zoltek, the old goat found in the stat part obelisk. Man, that's really rough.
Okay, I got it. All right. Denlin has a lead in the eye of Zeltek. The old goat found an obelisk to the north that marks the entrance to the tomb of the 9 gods. The eye must be within, but the door is magically locked. We think the secret to opening it lies in the holy shrines. We're headed into the rains?
The ruins.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We're headed into the ruins to check them out. God's willing, we'll be back tonight. Rosnasi's serpent people are on the prowl, so be careful. If you get into trouble, send the
Everhorn?
Swan?
Sound.
sound the
War horn.
okay. If you get into trouble, sound the war horn twice, and we'll come running for the yellow banner, Lord Brixton.
Brixton.
In the future.
Thank you.
Make sure all notes to us are not in cursive.
Right? I can
Or
read
really
cursive,
tiny
but
like
even
that.
that's tiny cursive. The vowels are hard. The vowels are hard to decipher.
That thing's like...
Yeah,
It's
that's
almost
better.
Is it better?
It is for me.
All right.
No, I cannot see it. That thing is like extremely tiny.
It was.
You could zoom. Yeah, but you could scroll in on your end, K-Way.
Yeah,
and
he
zoom
scrolled
in
in
on
and
it.
it's a little better.
So let's recap this letter.
I'd have to read it again.
Okay, so there's a lead at the eye of Zeltek. On the eye of Zeltek. The old goat. So somebody found the entrance to the Tomb of Annihilation.
So
Tomb of the 9 gods.
Yes.
Interesting.
The eye must be within. The eye must be the object we're looking for.
the Eye of Zoltek, Orvex says. That sounds familiar, an artifact of sorts, although I do not know much about it.
The door is magically locked, but that's
The
nothing
door.
that Quincy can't handle.
This is the door that the Red Wizards have found and spoke of, the 9 cubes.
The secret opening lies in the holy shrines, which is the cubes, right?
So it would seem
It's
the
in the
cubes are
holy shrine.
keys.
I was hoping you could just knock it open with one of your tricks.
So
Maybe knock one or two.
Ray, so yeah, essentially, the yellow banner seems to be on the same project that we are.
Well, they've been dead quite some time,
Oh,
I think, because they said
okay.
they'd be back that night, and this stuff is old and moldy. And what's in this
I guess
stuff?
you're right. Yeah.
Is there any treasure?
It would appear that's it as far as anything interesting, this letter from the Yellow Banner Company.
It's a bunch of junk.
Cappy will take the banner down and pack it up and bring it with him, though.
I don't know about junk. It at least lets us know that all of our assumptions thus far are correct, or at least somebody else came to the same conclusions.
This at least confirms that Orvex has been speaking truthfully to you all. Or
Yeah, Cappy will pat Orvex in the back and says,
You have my full trust, friend.
Thank you, Copernicus, and you mine.
Without you, and he looks at the rest of you, I would still be dead in the bottom of that shrine.
Come now, Copernicus. You are being dramatic.
Especially
Yes.
But as far as this area goes, it would appear that's it. You are ready. He'd been here for probably that took maybe, 10 minutes at most?
Yeah.
Just wrecking around the place.
Irame's going to look to Xavril and say, I don't worry about him telling the truth now. It's his end goal that concerns me.
Well, I assure you, Oh, did you say that out loud?
I said it to Xavril,
Yes.
not specifically out loud.
kind of like,
I chose a
Under
person
wraps.
to
Well,
say it
Orvex
to.
little fingers his way up behind you.
ew, I don't like him anymore.
And he says, well, if you would believe me at least until the end, I would appreciate it. I will be on my way as soon as we discover the secrets of this Tomb of the 9 Gods, as it were.
Tomb of the 9 Gods.
It now has a name, and that is important. I did not know this before, and perhaps reflecting on this in my previous notes, I could piece more together in time.
It would seem that every time we find what our goal is, that it's just one step along the path to yet another.
Well, Ijin Shrine is just a bit further north, if my calculations are correct.
Let's make haste.
All right. You set off again. A bit to the north, through the busted buildings. On the right-hand side, you do recognize a shrine not all too different from... What was the first shrine? Not all too different from the Shrine of Shigambi. Very similar in design. It's got a wall going around it with a little courtyard in front. It appears they all kind of have a similar shape, but the Kubazan one, the walls were had broken down, and there was a pool in front instead. This one, actually, I don't want to share this one with you because this is mine.
I could just look right over
You could.
to the right.
But we're not those kind of players.
Yeah, he gave us a little shout out at Carnage Con, actually.
Who did?
You did.
I did?
About how good your players are.
Yeah.
I did?
We're not
must have been
we're
on
not
accident.
cheaters.
Or,
No.
yeah, we're sarcastic.
Yeah.
No, you just don't have to worry about us fucking
Yeah, trying to ruin shit.
right.
Yeah, but who would do that?
People.
Dude, people.
All right, so I threw a map up on the screen. We're using a little bit of fog of war tonight.
Ooh, I don't like it.
Back on that previous conversation, as you read what I wrote into chat.
Oh, yeah. I was reading that as you were typing it as well.
In regards to the Tomb of the Nine Gods.
That,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's like accident. That just happens.
I was playing a stupid D&D game, and it was like I found out shit about Valindra. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but in their defense, all their different game, like all the different Tomb of Annihilation games that they have out on different platforms, aren't the same story arc. They take place in the setting.
So similar characters.
Yep. So you'll see
events.
crossover of characters, but at least the plots are different. Which I found to be pretty thoughtful of them. So anyway,
We're coming up to this shrine, and there's another outlying border wall kind of going on.
yep. As you come upon this shrine, there's two large pillars that come up that support that it looked at one point there was a gate here and no longer. A wall encompasses the courtyard. There's a break in the wall in front there.
Can I do like a survival check to see if anybody's come in or out of here in the last like few days?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
That's a good
absolutely.
idea, Copernicus.
And that's a natural 2 on the die.
Now, while you're searching for tracks, you notice it would appear a small critter emerges from a burrow
I love a critter.
beneath the courtyard, and it looks to be like a little bunny rabbit with a single horn protruding from its forehead.
Look, it's a Almirage.
And as soon as you say that, it looks over at you and then disappears down in the burrow again.
Oh, come back here, little buddy.
Irmi is going to go to stand over the burrow and try to kind of goad it out using Sylvan.
What's a good omen?
I'll pull out some rations and put them at the top of the hole.
Nothing happens after, let's say, 5 minutes goes by, you guys doing it. There's no movement from the burrow. You don't even hear any noise.
That was awesome.
Eldritch blast down the hole.
fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole.
Is this an intelligent creature that, as far as we know, these are intelligent creatures?
The Almirage, where you remember the picture? I'll put it up on screen.
Wow, they're so fucking cute.
I don't think Xavril's seen it.
Hi, it's so cute.
It's a bunny rabbit with a unicorn horn.
So it's like the little creature from Dragon Quest there.
I will play some music in front of the hole, and I will use enthralling performance. So after 1 minute, up to 3 targets, I'm only going to choose the one within 60 feet. Has to make a wisdom save versus, well, it's a DC 14 wisdom save, or be charmed.
Do you have to have a line of sight with it?
I don't. They just have to be able to hear the music. I don't think so. I could look closer.
Check it out. This
And
thing,
I'll tell you,
this
the
bunny
burrow-
just totally derailed us.
Yeah, well, just to be clear, the burrow is more like a hole you'd see in your yard. It's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
a nest or something. It's like a little hole in the grass.
You can assume
where
it's a tunneling system.
Yeah.
He might be completely gone by now.
Where the
Now,
prairie
I
dog
might be
hole.
curious and hanging around.
Now,
Yeah.
while this is happening, the rest of you, the door to this shrine is decorated with sculptured reliefs, and the carvings show a horned rabbit charging a small, feral-looking bear with sharp claws.
Oh.
See, this is
And-
the actual size of the animal on the screen now coming out of the...
And there's a message written in Old Omawan, and Orvex approaches and says, "Would any of you like to try your luck at the Omawan to see if you have gotten better at it? And I could read it if you would prefer."
Irame's going to give it a try. Is it history?
Yeah.
And Quincy will aid Airmay, so she'll have advantage.
Marcus is looking on his own.
As always.
7.
With advantage.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Or
Learn
ve-
a new language. You know?
Orvex once again brings his glasses up. He says, Ijin teaches us to take the path least expected. Huh, interesting. And the door itself does not tell me if it's locked or not, so I'm assuming.
Yeah, by the way, like when Quincy walked over to help Irame, he stopped playing the music. He figured he doesn't have to see the target, but the target has to be able to see and hear him.
Oh, there's an... oh, wait, I'm sorry, what?
So remember, he was playing music.
Yeah. Just to see and hear.
The target has to be able to see Quincy.
To be able to see and hear me.
Gotcha.
And, so he just kind of gave up, and then when they started talking about the writing, he walked over to aid Irame.
Yep.
Also, Irame looking and seeing the picture of the bear, all of a sudden becomes tense and realizes all these shrines are guarded by something.
Yeah.
So she starts looking around.
Well, there is an inscription on the door, and it is the story that Orvex has a... what do you call those?
Scroll?
No, rubbing. Orvex has the rubbing of the story he told you.
Oh, yeah.
One morning, a wise Zorbo emerged
Like
from her
charcoal
hollow
on-
tree.
Yeah.
On a gravestone, yeah. The grave rubbings. And he says, this is the shrine that I have a rubbing of.
Yes,
It
we
is-
do know the story.
It is what
of the-
happened in the morning on the day that the 9 trickster gods saved the Omoans.
Didn't this Almirage do something to the stew?
And the door, Orvex kind of puts his hand on the door, and it just cracks open. And he says, Ijin taught her followers to live unpredictable lives, always changing course and never sticking to a plan. This should be interesting. Ijin was a very interesting god, as it were. And then the door... so who's opening the door? The door is open a crack.
It's open a crack.
Okay. Irame will move forward cautiously.
So as soon as you open the door fully and look in, it's darkness.
Irame has dark vision.
Yeah. So with your dark vision, okay. So as soon as the door opens all the way, with your dark vision, you see before you, covering the entire entrance of the shrine, is a tile set with various images on it, and I'll bring that up on the screen.
This seems awesome. I like it already.
I'm curious.
Well, this is interesting.
Oh,
Whoa.
it looks like a puzzle.
This looks awesome.
Now, these tiles show depictions of various animals or critters.
Are we looking at it the right way?
Yes, because
Okay.
there's a
That's how it's presented in front of us. They're just sideways. So I
there's a
wanted to-
compass on it. Yeah, it is
Okay.
sideways, but the compass says north is.
Gotcha.
There's
Well, there's the Almirage, so
Yeah.
Orvex looks at it now, and he says, "Well, this is interesting. Perhaps I should go and re-examine the inscription real quick." And he kind of goes back above the door, and he's looking over the inscription again.
Any clues, Orvex?
Give me a moment here.
What did it say?
Very
Take
old
the path,
scripts.
the least expected path.
for a god that wants his followers to always do something different, it seems quite fitting.
Maybe no repetitive symbols?
That's what I would say too.
Jin teaches us to take the path least expected. I do not know if this applies to this. I believe I have relayed all the information I have between those two.
Although I'm not really seeing any like ones touching right now. So just to give the listeners an idea, there are lots of tiles presented in an array, and it's 4 rows Well, it's 4x8. 4x8 tiles. And on each tile is an engraving of an animal. We see a giraffe, a dragonfly, a monkey, a beetle,
An eagle.
an eagle. Is that what that is?
Lion, a zebra, an almirage.
There's one that I can't tell what it is. Oh, maybe it's the amirage. That's the horn.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's okay. A lion and an amirage. Yes, that's all of them.
Wait, what is that one?
There are dragonflies, eagles, giraffes, monkeys, tigers, warthogs, and zebras.
Okay, it's a warthog.
That was
Okay,
what I
now
thought
I
in the
see it.
middle.
Now I see it.
I was thinking a scarab with the wings open.
Oh, yeah, it is beetleish.
I definitely thought that was a scarab as well.
He says, well, who is first? Orvex laughs nervously.
What about the arrow pointing north?
That's just showing that you start on the right. You start on the right side of the board and you make your way to the left side of the board.
Oh, okay, that changes perspective. Could you flip the photo for us then?
No.
Okay.
It's just whoever's going first, I'm going to put your character on the tile you choose to step on first. You know what I mean? And then you're going to navigate across it.
So perhaps we cannot step on the same tile, the animal. At first I thought this was rearranging tiles, but now that I'm looking at this as the floor and we're stepping on these tiles, the maybe we can't step on the same one twice if this god doesn't like repetition.
Yeah.
Or am I misinterpreting the repetition?
Are there 7 different symbols?
All right.
Or 8 different symbols? If there's 8 different symbols, then perhaps we can never step on a double. We have to pick one. You know, if we have to
But
move
as you're
8.
traveling, you have to be able to avoid. Like, so if you step on the warthog, which is one of the first tiles, then a person that moves ahead can't also step on a warthog, or you couldn't make that diagonal step. I don't know. I kind of want to go back to what he said. So we know to take the path least expected, but what was the other bit about what he expects of his followers? Orvex,
There
can you
are
repeat that?
8 different symbols.
Yes, of course. Ijin taught her followers to live unpredictable lives, always changing course and never sticking to a plan.
Yeah, it might be a leap to go where I was going as far as not stepping on the same symbol based on that.
However, if you look at the rows, all of them have a repeating character except for the bottom row.
Excellent
No, they
observation, Jeremy.
I agree with Irame.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Although, are you sure about that?
Yeah, yes. The first one has 2 repeating lions, the second one 2 repeating dragonflies, the third one 2 repeating all mirages, and the last one no
And
repeating
eagles.
symbols.
Looking from north to south.
That's
south
the
to north.
direction
It
you're
doesn't.
going.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. I see. I was.
Yeah, you're
When you
starting
said
on
row,
the right.
I wasn't sure what you meant by row.
yeah.
You're starting
Because
on
the
the right and
orient
going
is
left.
hard. Yeah.
Even still, it's maybe hollow.
It is true that. Yeah, I mean, who
But
wants to go first?
But also, if the arrow is telling us to point north, can we cross the We can't cross the tiles the other way. However, right? We can't cross from south to north.
No, because we're heading that way.
Yeah, okay. So I would say that if we're standing here, then we take the path
The
all
east-
the way to the left. The bottom row of what we see in the photo.
So you're suggesting, because we're entering from the south, that we go north by way of the path all the way on the left side of the room.
Yes.
Yes.
But if we can go from south to north, perhaps that's another part of the puzzle.
Well, that's what we are doing, going from south
Oh,
to north.
opposite of that. Apologies.
I agree.
Do these tiles look... I don't know, they look like they can move pressure plates. Can I examine the first, at least the ones in front of the first row in front of the door?
Yeah, examining them, they don't appear to be contraptions at all.
Maybe should we try to cross?
I would proceed with caution. But yes, we should proceed.
Irme is going to cast Blade Ward on herself quickly, just in case there's a trap that causes bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage.
Coming from the person that could just fly over.
Oh, actually, that's only by weapon attacks.
Right.
Oh, that's only by weapon attacks. So I take that back. I don't think I'm going to do that.
Well, traps could be weapons.
Right.
Okay, all right. We'll stick with
Absolutely,
Blade Ward.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, traps consist of like battle axes, spears, and darts.
Yeah,
and,
so just in case she sets something off, she'll be a little bit protected. I do still have the temporary points from you, right, Quincy?
No.
Where-
Those
Probably
No.
Probably
I
not.
think
Okay.
you guys took a short rest since
Oh, that's
then.
right. Yep. Let me erase those. And Irame will push her glasses up her nose and proceed forward.
All right, which tile are you stepping on?
The Almirage.
On the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one on the.
That seems like wrong, doesn't it? Well, it does, because he would expect us to step on the Almirage. Yeah. Oh, I thought it turned green because it was good, but it's just my thing. I was like, yes, green! I did it!
All right, Irame, you step out onto the Almirage, and you hear a hum, and the engraving of the Almirage begins to glow, and you feel yourself become imbued, and you get...
What? That was excitement. My voice didn't just give out.
I wish we had a video of your facial expression when he said it started to glow. You're so filled with wonder.
And you get 8... You receive 8 temporary hit points as you feel somewhat protected by the Almirage.
Oh, this is awesome.
All right.
Interesting.
That changes everything.
Well, it actually puts more pressure to make the right decision again.
Right.
Oh God,
They're all buffs.
this is
How
very
can you stack them?
stressful.
Perhaps if it's
let's stick-
activated in some way, we have to activate all of them. And then I believe you are on the correct path. It is conjecture, though.
I will move to the giraffe. Oh, a straight line just does not seem smart.
And nothing happens.
That's good.
Perhaps one of the... Perhaps it's that we have to activate an animal in each row. And in this particular row, it is not the giraffe.
So it could have been the zebra. So should we stray from thinking
Is the Amirage still glowing, or did it stop glowing when she stepped off of it?
It actually stopped glowing after the imbuement went into her.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So Irame's going
What
to...
about the hum?
Yeah, the hum was a byproduct of the glowing.
Irame's going to look back to her friends and say, I know it was my idea to use this row because none of the animals repeat, but a straight line does seem counterintuitive to what the Almirage would want us to do.
Does that make it to the past least expected?
Oh, God. Irame's going to know that contemplating too much could cause problems, and she's going to move to the warthog.
Continuing to move.
Straight.
Yeah. And nothing happens again.
I'm actually wondering if if there's 8.
It sounds like a good thing.
It
There
does.
Nothing is not bad.
Indeed.
If there are 8 creatures, 8 images, and there are 8 rows that you have to cross, and maybe there's one in each row that you have to activate. So we need to know the order of which creature to go to next.
So, well,
And if you have to move
if the
from one
Almirage
to
was
next-
if the Almirage was correct, then the only other correct one could be the zebra in the next row.
Right. That's yes, sort of, yeah.
Because I considered that as well.
Yeah. So maybe go back to the Amirage and then
Can I move diagonally to the zebra?
Maybe, but does it have to be in the right order? Like, do you have to start with the Amirage and then go to the zebra?
I don't know. Well, I'm gonna go to the zebra next,
Okay.
and see.
So she's gonna go back a row. You're gonna go back a row to
Yeah.
the zebra.
Hey, it seems pretty unexpected.
Yeah, but if I go back a row to the zebra, that could mess up the whole thing moving forward.
You could just move forward and see if anything happens.
Yeah,
Stick with
let's
that.
stick with the plan to move forward.
And if that doesn't work, we could. Quincy will just step forward and we'll try the other pattern.
All right, so let's go to the dragonfly.
I'm trying to,
Like trace the steps.
yeah, just to give me an idea of what's going on. So I'm sorry. So what?
Dragonfly.
You're going to the dragonfly next.
Yeah.
All right. So you move forward in a straight line again,
Yes.
and nothing happens.
So either nothing happening is a good thing, and just some of these are imbued with something, or I should be hitting a glow every time, essentially. So let's go to the monkey.
Quick question: what's on the other side of the room?
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Because that's fog of war. Let me unveil that. Okay. So, looking forward, you do see a wall on the far end, but there's a corridor that goes to the left and to the right that you can't see around those corners. But
So we don't
it does
even know.
progress.
So we don't even know right now what these tiles are potentially activating.
Yurame's gonna move to the monkey, continue in a straight line.
All right, and Arame, you move to the monkey, and nothing happens.
To the zebra,
And again, nothing happens.
then to the lion,
And nothing happens.
and to the eagle.
And nothing happens.
Do you see
Go
anything,
Quincy.
And now what? Yurame's gonna do a perception check.
Because you should be near a hall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you step off the board now,
Oh, Jesus.
I'm just clearing the fog of war for those listening at home. Okay.
Should I do a perception check, or are you just gonna fill us in?
There's nothing really to see, just
Okay.
a corridor, single file corridor, 5 feet wide, cobwebs, critters. To the left, you see an elbow that turns up to the north, and to the right, through the cobwebs, same thing on the other side, an elbow that turns up to the north.
If the goal was to just make it across without hitting a trap, then we seem to have done it. But if the goal is to unlock something by getting the right code, I don't believe we've succeeded.
Well, then perhaps we should investigate to see what it is. If it is indeed to unlock something, we need to know what we're trying to unlock. Otherwise, it may be just as you say. It may be that we need to make it across without setting off a trap.
So perhaps all of you could follow the line that I did. We do know that it's safe, and then we can look around.
Quincy just doesn't hesitate. It's clear in his mind that that's our course of action.
All right, I'm kind of hesitant, though. I want to go exploring on this floor.
Okay. Who's going next? Quincy?
Yep.
And which tile are you starting on?
I'm following right in Arame's footsteps, so I'll be starting with the rabbit horn tile. What are they called again?
El Mirage.
El Mirage.
All right. So, as Quincy steps onto the El Mirage, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, it's over already?
Bollocks.
Quincy, boo.
K-Way's examining that fucking puzzle board right now. He's like, his eyes. He's mapping
I
it
was-
out for his character.
I had already done that, but I was going to choose a different path to begin with. So.
The green glow of a crackling brazier reflects off of darkened eyes lurking in the shadows. The man confidently steps forth, brandishing a crude long spear. There is something to be said of a man who loses everything he holds dear. To be torn from one's life and placed in another so abrupt. To realize one is not driven by love, hope, or even compassion, but fear. I was motivated by fear, but no longer. I have come to put an end to this death curse, so my family can rest in peace. Needless to say, I was not surprised to learn of the Yuan-Ti slithering about here at its source. So now, I find myself seeking the witch responsible for Toguta village. The large Malison turns his attention from a small cube resting on a pedestal against the wall. Unfazed, he cocks his head upward slightly, and beneath blood-stained bandages, his eye fixes on the intruder, then to the Yokowa. A man after my own heart. Come. If it is the so-called witch you seek, we may reach an agreement. Of that I am certain.